Hello, I'm Meg Salyer, and I'd like to welcome you to the Ward 6 Council Show. I have two of Oklahoma City's greatest community volunteers with us today, Ann Ackerman and Kathy Williams, and Ann Bogey, who is the Executive Director of Oklahoma Project Women. So the first thing I think our viewers want to know is, what is Oklahoma Project Women? Tell us about it and how it came to Oklahoma City, because I think it's fairly new here.
Absolutely. We are a nonprofit agency now statewide, and we provide breast health care for women and men that have no health insurance and limited financial resources. And we provide everything from a mammogram to an ultrasound, biopsy, and even surgery for those people, again, that have no health insurance and limited financial resources.
Are the services all free, Ann?
They are. They are completely free. And so we reimburse our hospitals and doctors a small fee, and then they write off the remainder so that a patient never receives a bill at all. We partner across the state with more than 90 clinics. We also partner with 38 hospitals, and in addition to those hospitals, the corresponding radiology, anesthesiology, pathology, radiology groups. And so everybody that talks to or touches the patient is reimbursed something, and then again they write off the rest of that, so then the patient never receives a bill and all of their care is completely free.
That's absolutely wonderful.
It is.
In your introduction, one of the things that surprised me when I first learned about Oklahoma Project Women was the work you do with men.
Yes.
I think people would be very surprised to learn how many cases of breast cancer there are in men, and it seems like something that's just almost hidden. Does somebody want to talk to that a little bit?
I don't know the numbers. Ann could probably give you better numbers on it, but it is shocking, and I don't think we'd think about it at all.
Absolutely, and they say that about 10% of the cases of breast cancer that are diagnosed this year, and of those in the United States, about 200,000 cases of breast cancer will be diagnosed, and about 40,000 women will lose that battle, or 40,000 people, but about 10% of those are going to be men. I know in our program this past year, we were able to help 4,000 women.
Wow.
And 53 were diagnosed with breast cancer, but one of those was a man.
Was a male.
This year, we've already helped 2 men in our program. And I think the important thing to note, though, is that no other program, the state program, does not help men, interestingly enough.
Isn't that interesting? You know, I think we probably have so many medical conditions that tend to be much more easily diagnosed in men than women. I think the statistics about heart attack or stroke or some of those things are much more prevalent or expected in men than women. And I'm hearing you say the same thing about breast cancer. We just don't think about it as a disease that could affect a man as well. But,
absolutely. And a lot of the men that are diagnosed with breast cancer, there tend to be a family history.
Okay.
So again, men that have had a mother or grandmother with breast cancer, those men need to get checked and make sure that if they feel or see a lump or a bump in that breast area, that's something that they get checked out.
Really great, incredibly important, life-saving advice.
It really is.
It's just amazing. Kathy?
Personally, I have to tell you that I had breast cancer in 1986. And so I went through the genetic testing, and I do have the gene. They call it the broken gene because they don't want to refer to it as a bad gene. It's just broken. And so my sons are within that percentage.
Wow.
So they are going to have to check.
Are they going to be tested for that?
They haven't
Gene?
decided to have the
Okay.
gene tested.
All right.
But they will have to. I don't know if they do mammograms, but they are going to have to be checked for breast cancer. So it's
And do
out
self-exams just the way we're all counseled to do.
there. Yeah,
It is out there.
it's out there.
I also heard something so interesting the other day that there's a population of the Ashkenazi Jews or the European Jews that have a 90% greater chance
Yes.
of having the gene because they, you know, grew up or were raised in fairly isolated communities and intermarried amongst families, and so they haven't had the dilution in the population. And that the recommendation is that every one of those women
Oh my.
get tested for the gene. It's an extremely high percentage, which
Right.
was something I just learned about the other day. So, and when you talk about, you know, the first stage, that's helping people,
Right.
and that's providing people access to a mammogram.
Absolutely, absolutely. And one of the things, you know, Kathy talks about the gene, but one of the things that we make sure and tell people is the greatest risk factor that you have is being a woman and getting older. And unfortunately, you know, like Kathy, I'm a breast cancer survivor and was diagnosed at 29, which was a long time ago, 18 years. But that is the biggest risk factor. Most women are diagnosed over 50. But that the best thing you can do is have a regular mammogram, have one every year, and that's what our program wants to do, is to make sure that no matter what your financial situation or your insurance situation is, that you do not have to go without a mammogram.
So providing this incredibly valuable service doesn't come at a cost.
Absolutely.
And talk to us a little bit, and Kathy and everybody, please talk to us about how you raise money, how people can get involved. If you have, you know, an event, help us know how to get engaged in that. So let's start with what kind of how much money do you raise on an annual basis, and how many people can you help?
On an annual basis, we raise about $1.5 million.
Oh, my goodness, how fabulous.
And we don't receive any government funding, so fundraisers are key. And since we have moved into the Oklahoma City market, or Oklahoma City community, really statewide community, fundraisers like the one that we're going to talk about today are incredibly important, and we are very blessed to have Kathy and Ann behind our cause and spearheading this event. So
You certainly are. There's not a single event in Oklahoma City, I think, that's ever happened that hasn't had Kathy and Ann behind it some way, and they're all roaring successes.
Absolutely.
So, Oklahoma City owes a deep debt of gratitude to both of you. And for our viewers that don't know, Ann just retired as the CEO of Leadership Oklahoma, so has a tremendous network of folks statewide.
Great program also.
Which in this effort,
Yes.
you know, I think would be really valuable resource to be able
Just
to help.
spreading the
So-
word about what Oklahoma Project Woman does. It
Right.
needs to, that story needs to be told, as well, of course, as promoting our fundraiser, which will be instrumental. November the 18th, celebrate Pink Oklahoma City.
There isn't anybody that would celebrate
I
Pink
know.
better than Ann Ackerman.
I know.
That's exactly right.
That's awesome,
I
Ann.
know. I think I have enough pink clothes that I'll be able to make this.
I think you could lend us all. Well, actually, I'm in pink today.
Yes.
I was gonna say you could
Perfect.
lend us all pink clothes.
That's about right. But it's going to be a great luncheon. Anyone's invited. Everyone's invited. I don't know, Kathy, you want to tell more about it? You
Well,
want me to keep going?
this is our second year to have the event. Last year was the inaugural event, and we only had about 3 months to put it together last year. So Ann and I have been really excited to be able to have much more time to put the event together. It is a luncheon at the Oklahoma City Golf and Country Club.
Great.
The reservation is $75 for individual, and then we have sponsorships.
Perfect.
So we would love for any business,
You've got
corporation.
corporate tables
Yes, we do.
available, so people
We
could
do.
buy a table or.
One of the big draws this year is Oklahoma's own Christian Chenoweth is going to be there. Not to sing, but to tell the story of her mother's journey through
Wow.
breast cancer. And it's my understanding her mother's now a 5-year survivor and is willing for the first time to talk about her journey. And Kristen will be doing that, and her mother will be there also. So it's going to have a special touch to it, a very human side to it from one of our local famous Oklahomans, along with some other fun things.
That's right.
Well, how nice of her, though, to
Oh.
give of her time to come back home. She is one of the most generous
Yes.
She
local
is.
stars. We have many, but she comes back to support her university, Oklahoma City University, as
Right.
often as she possibly can. And
She's also, we're going to have a raffle at the luncheon, and one of the items that we will be raffling off is tickets to Kristen's concert in March,
how fun!
and invitation backstage to meet with her, along with some other things.
We've got a trip to New York City that Journey House has put together.
I hope I can.
and-
Can you do it on one leg?
It may be a little bit difficult.
If anybody
I may-
could, you could. If anybody could, you could.
That wouldn't stop you from buying a raffle ticket, though.
And I do have a ticket to the luncheon,
I
so
know you
I
do.
will.
I
I
think you
will.
were our first sale.
Well, there you
so,
go. I'll
yeah.
be there with bells on. That's
Yeah.
nice to know.
And our Myers is doing our fashion show. And Cindy Shelby did it for us last year and did just a fabulous job. And so she promises to have an exquisite, professional fashion show again this year. So we're really excited about that. And another one of the raffle items will be a designer dress.
Oh my goodness.
So you have an opportunity of winning a
This sounds
beautiful
pretty lucky.
design-
You could win a dress to go to
Yes.
New York City to see Kristen Chenoweth if you were
Yes.
3 times a charm.
That's
It
right.
sounds Like it
Actually,
could be fabulous.
Kristen is here in March.
Oh, how
It's a
nice.
concert will be
One
here.
woman show at the Civic Center.
Perfect.
So the tickets are for right here in Oklahoma City.
Oh,
so it's
good. So
pretty
you don't need
exciting.
to travel to New York to get to
No.
see her. Well,
Right.
that's
No.
terrific.
We also
And
have-
talk to us about some more other programming. Other, maybe talk about some of your partnerships so that people
Mm-hmm.
would have a little bit bigger understanding. And then I'd really like for folks to know how to reach you.
Absolutely. So our partnerships, again, we partner with a lot of the hospitals across the state. Our 2 big partnerships here in Oklahoma City are with OU and Integris. Integris is one of our presenting sponsors for this event, and we are very grateful for all of the support that they give us, as well as OU. They have been a very generous sponsor, and again, the nice thing is that when our patient goes there, we reimburse them a small amount, but then they write off the rest of that, so then our patient never receives a bill. And I can't emphasize enough that our program not only provides that free mammogram, but then if a patient is called back, that they see something suspicious and it needs to go further, that patient is able to receive a biopsy and even surgery, a lumpectomy or a mastectomy, completely free of charge.
I intended to follow up with that because I really wanted to make sure our readers or our listeners understood that this is a full course of care.
Right,
Truly is.
and if so, I talked earlier about those 53 patients that were diagnosed with breast cancer last year. If they are diagnosed with cancer, the state has a program called the Breast and Cervical Cancer Program. And so if they are diagnosed with cancer, they move into that program that is state and federally funded, and that program then pays for their chemo and or radiation, whatever they need, and they have the same qualifications that we do. So our patients really can start with our program with a clinical breast exam and then move seamlessly all the way to radiation, chemo, and have all of their care provided
Wonderful. Before we wrap up, please go ahead and give us the website address so
Okay.
that people can reach you.
for. Okay, www.oklahomaprojectwoman.org, and is truly the best way. So,
Fabulous.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's
www.oklahomaprojectwoman.org. So it's got men in it.
Yes, yes, yeah.
It's women and it's men, and I
Yeah.
just that was one of the things that really touched me when I learned about the program.
And
was
any
the full
age
outreach.
too.
I
So
just-
no age is too young.
Great. I want to thank you guys so much for coming. This is a really important project. Oklahoma Project Woman offers terrific services. Thank
Thank
you
you.
all for being involved. Thank you for being here, and thank you for watching.